Hello and welcome back to Trash It. It's a windy day here in London today.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm going to be blown away.
Well, you've got some meat on you. I'm like a skinny bone. I'm just going to get dragged up.
You will.
We're doing Mary Poppins now.
Oh my God, you guys are awful. Straight to it. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen Adopted in Plain Sight.
Okay.
It's on Netflix. It's a documentary about a child. She wasn't really, well, she was a child that was taken by a family friend to Mexico when she was 12 years old. And she went missing for a couple of days. He ended up marrying her, brought her back. Yeah, you guys need to watch it. Like, viewers, you need to watch it.
Oh, okay.
So, we're going to be talking around having family friends with our children or our wards, with the way things are with pedophilia. And where do you draw the line? Because in most cases, kids that have been abused by close family members. So really and truly, there's no boogeyman out there trying to do stuff to your child. It's either the father, the mother, in most cases, siblings, grandparents. In the line of work that we do, we see quite often. So the question of the day is, when does your, I wouldn't say being paranoid, but when do you then say, well, it's okay for my child to go with Uncle A, B, and C, or am I breeding too much with my child spending time with Uncle A, B, and C?
Okay, I mean, I think it's very difficult. It's very difficult because I grew up in Nigeria and I did. I don't know where you grew up, but anyway. For those of us that grew up in Nigeria, I'm going to make it specific to Nigeria because I cannot talk about other countries because I didn't grow up anywhere else apart from Nigeria. Okay, I came to the UK when I was about 19. So the thing is, when we grew up, we didn't think about things like this. Uncle, auntie, it was fine. Uncle will come and you will run to uncle and he will carry you up and hug you and spin you around and you will sit on uncle's lap, you know, throughout the duration of time. Your sister is here and
waiting for uncle to give you
there was nothing like, oh, you know, thinking about whether uncle is going to molest the child or whatever. I mean, I didn't experience that. So, but when I came to the UK, it became different because then I started to realize that, okay, it's not okay for you to sit on uncle's lap because uncle could be a pedophile, you know. Even I remember coming to this country, obviously in Nigeria, when you have female friends, your girlfriend, you know, your female friend, they're your best friends most of the time, and you can hold your hand and walk on the street. And when I came here, I tried to do that, and someone said, Celia, people are going to think that you guys are lesbians.
It's different.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but obviously I'm not a lesbian, but then people would see you as that. And I think back in that time when I just came back in 2002, being a lesbian or a gay wasn't yet accepted the way it is now. Yeah. The awareness wasn't there, you know. It wasn't being accepted like it is now. So for me, I was like, okay, I don't want to be seen as something that I'm not. So every time I try to hold a female's hand, I have to think twice to say, do I care or do I not care? So unfortunately, the world that we live in today is very wicked. Okay, you find uncles and aunties molesting their children, even fat parents molesting their children, their nieces, nephews, grandchildren. Okay,
let me go to you. Grew up in Belize.
Yeah, I grew up in Belize, Central America, the Caribbean, so south of Mexico.
I didn't ask you to read him.
Just in case, you know, Celia says she don't know, so I'm explaining. The thing is, as you said, like Celia, I don't think at that age, you know, because when I came I was 16, we didn't speak about pedophilia.
We didn't speak about
it. Yeah, we didn't speak about it. So I think because there was no awareness doesn't mean that it wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Yes? And I think it just depends on your parents, because my parents was very protective. So there was no sleepover, there was no nothing. So kids were allowed to come to my house, but I was not allowed to go to theirs. And now thinking about it, and when I did ask my mom at the later, because I used to think she was evil, I used to say to her, well, it was just uncle or auntie's house, why am I not allowed to go there? And then I remember she used to say, oh, because they have teenage boys, or because they have older male friends. But when you're 16, 15, that doesn't click in your head, because at that time I was still playing with Barbies and stuff. I was still immature in the sense of innocence of that age. Over here, as you say rightfully, when I came, I learned more than I would have probably even learned in a lifetime. You know, girls were already talking about sex. Yes. They were very they were very active. As I said, I was still a virgin and everything.
Okay, so I'm
I
gonna
think-
just I get you, but I'm just want to think about it because I've got a 5-year-old, and recently Renee came to me and she was like, "Oh, mommy, my friend said, my friend's mum invited me for a sleepover." I felt, well, mum should have checked with me first
Yes.
before inviting my child over, and I kindly said, "No, you can't go." And I think her friend's mum was like, "Oh, why not? They're very close. I've got no problem with your child coming to spend time at mine. I don't know you guys well enough to let my child go to your home." Now, back home, we didn't do sleepovers. We had cousins that we go to their places, but we don't have friends that can really just carry my bag and be like, "Well, check ya, I'm off for the weekend." But we're in an environment where culturally kids at a very age are exposed to quite a lot of things.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say people's moral compass, and I'm not saying people in the United Kingdom that their moral compass is broken or twatted in the wrong way, but for the life of me, I don't see what would attract you as an older person to a 5-year-old, to a 6-year-old. So are we right as a parent to say, well, I don't want my child to start sitting on an uncle's lap, or I don't feel comfortable? Where do you draw the line? Where do people don't then see you as this paranoid parent?
I think it's the comfort, you know, because the thing is.
Sorry, Shari, there's
Yeah.
a reason why I brought that up, because I can remember when I was working with children's services, and the kind of things I was taking home was beginning to affect how I was seeing people.
yes,
I was beginning
yeah,
to second guess the male figure around, and I'm like, okay, why are you holding my child out? I probably wouldn't have thought of that if I was in that line of work.
Yeah.
And that because you see a lot of traumatic things that happen. So where do you then say, okay, well, I can trust you, but what if I trust you and then you mess up? It's my child.
Yeah, that's the thing with my mom. Because as I say, when I got to a certain age, I started asking her, like, why didn't you? Because I feel like I missed out on a lot of sleepover and, you know, stuff like that. And then it was when she said to me, you know, the reason why I didn't do this is because her sister was molested when she was young by another sister husband. You see?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. So sometimes parents, not because they've been through it, but because they know of someone that has been through it, and they know, as you said rightfully, it's not the stranger on the street that is possibly going to molest your child. It's the one that you're close to, that you think because they are the member of the family or they're a family member, they wouldn't do it. But most of the time when you hear these stories, it is the person living in the house, or the person that you would be saying, well, go to your uncle and your aunties for the weekend. And because that happened, I think when because I'm the first daughter for her, I think she just became very protective in the sense of thinking, well, that's not going to happen to my daughter,
And the thing
because,
is,
you know, this is the boundaries what we're going to set.
and the thing is, going back to the question that you asked, you can never know. You can never ever know. You can only second guess. So you can never know who is going to molest your child or not. And I just feel, you know, that's where you as a parent, you might end up being seen as the overprotective mom or dad.
Yes.
Well, would you rather be that, or rather be your child being sexually exploited by a family member, by an uncle? You know, I know, as I said, with the line of work that we're in, you know, we've heard stories, or we've seen cases where, you know, people are being molested by even their grandparents.
Yeah.
So you as a child, you're going to work, you leave your children with your father to look after, and unfortunately your father is abusing your children. You know, and not just that, it also happens within siblings as well.
Yeah,
Siblings abuse siblings, and most of the times it's usually where the sibling has been abused, so they repeat that same behavior towards a younger sibling, and, you know, unfortunately it's almost like a vicious circle.
It is.
You know, so I mean, I don't know, where do you draw the line? As far as I'm concerned, with my child, I think that's where education comes into play.
Yeah.
You have to tell your children, do not let somebody touch you in certain areas. The safe zones, your vagina, your breast, your penis, your buttocks. Use the right words.
Yes.
Don't go saying, oh, your PP or your JJ.
Yes,
No, just use the right words, because you took that way you don't confuse the child, okay? And if anything, you can draw a picture as well, and you know and you let the child know where the safe zones, where the safe areas are, and you know if they're being touched in areas that are not safe, then they need to be telling you, even if it's by daddy. I have a friend. I'm sorry, because someone. I have a friend. Oh, that's an ice cream man, isn't it? Oh boy.
Even in the wind.
You know, okay, I have a friend who she's got a partner, well, the father of her children. They're no longer together, they're divorced now. But when he comes around to see the children, or maybe she has to leave the children in his care, she said to me, Celia, I'm so paranoid, because again she's a social worker. Celia, I'm so paranoid, I would put the baby's pampers on and pin it in a certain way, and I would say to him, she doesn't need changing. So she marks where she pins the diaper. That way, if the diaper was changed, because it's a female child, so that if the diaper was changed, she would know.
That being said, would you then say a father shouldn't change?
Or a mother.
No, let's do like the analogy you've given.
Yeah.
Would you say a father shouldn't change their female children?
I don't agree with that. A father should be
think
trusted well enough to change their female child. Come on.
And if you don't trust him, then there is big issues there.
And obviously, you know, for me, just keep saying, there's no way. How do you tell your husband, well, babes, please don't?
But that's going to be an awkward situation.
Just for me, the only way you can sort of get around that, obviously, if you don't trust your husband or the father of your child around your female child, then first of all, that's very questionable.
Now you saying that, there's this school of thought that says it's too early. And please don't shoot me down. Let me just finish, because I can see the daggers coming. That it's too early at times to start talking to kids about sex or body parts. Now with the new, I think they're still having consultation about introducing sex education at reception, which will be age 4. So because they will go into graphics, they will tell you that sex education, as in they're very graphic. They show them how the act is being done.
Sorry, hold on. What do you mean they show them?
There's a video.
No. I don't think they do that in reception.
No, they want
to. The plan. That's what.
So you're saying to me now that the Department of Education is going to agree for reception 4-year-olds to be showing a video of pornography?
Yes.
Okay, because that's how I'm seeing it.
There is consultation going on about things like that. So that's what I'm saying. That these are kids. I would rather my child know, because I say to Renee, look, don't change. I can remember saying that. Renee, she's in reception, and they do PE on Fridays, and she said to her teacher, where am I supposed to change? And the teacher was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, I need my privacy, I've got my dignity protected. And the woman goes, damn, you're only 4. Do you know what I'm saying? So I say to them, and it's so unfortunate that we need to say this to them at a very early age when they're supposed to be playing with Barbies.
I don't agree with it though.
It's the world that we live in. But now they're talking about taking it to the extreme and start teaching them about sex.
You see, I disagree with that. Because it's like robbing them of their innocence. And I just think, as I say, I was happy the way I was brought up, because as I say, even at 16, I was still innocent to be playing with my Barbie. And I think that was the happiest. Well, what I'm just saying, that was your happiest time, from being innocent, not knowing what the big bad world have out there for you. So to go from age 4,
no, that's
I think that is just a.
Don't get me wrong, I'm all for schools teaching kids about things like that, but not at reception. Come on now, that I mean,
awareness is
morally that's wrong. Ethically, that is wrong on all levels. That's wrong. Allow them to get to year 3. I don't know. And allow spiritually as well. Well, spiritually too is wrong. Okay, allow the parents to talk to their children about things like that, because parents will have that,
the birds and the bees.
Yeah, they will have that communication with their child. So
Interestingly, when did you get your talk about sex?
You see,
I don't remember ever. Listen. I don't remember ever getting talk about sex from my mom. What my mom said to me was, if a man should touch you, you will get pregnant. If you come to this house with pregnancy, I will kill you. That was it. So you just need. I just had to unravel that for myself.
My mom she's retired now, was a peri-operative nurse. So invariably she was a scrub nurse. And every time my mom would come back from work, she was working in vestibular teaching hospital at the maternity wing. She would come and be like, "Ah, Yuri, come and put soap," and then she would be washing her hand. If you see this girl, I'd be like, "What happened to the girl?" She was like, She got pregnant. Then she went to go and have an abortion, and they had to remove her womb.
Oh, wow.
They would use her as, just in my language, like a token to her husband. She would never have it, and that scared me, and that scarred me. That was enough contraception for me, because every time, because every time she came home, every
She
girl
had a story.
she had a story.
Yeah.
At some point, I felt that all the girls in my town where I grew up, they didn't have wombs. That was my mother. I said, if you knew what I did or I saw today. But it was all pokies. But
But see,
I didn't have any to talk about.
The weird thing, I didn't get sat down either and talk. It was my brothers.
I just got warned.
No, it was my brothers that
Yeah.
was very protective. And I remember my brothers used to sit and say, "You know what? Sit here. Let me tell you something." He's like, any boys that come to you telling you that they could bring down the stars, the moon, the sky, he's like, this is the same chat that I use with everybody. So don't be stupid. And he was like, and if I catch you any boy, yes, just tell them that they're dead. So I could not even look at boys. Boys couldn't look at me. So I was protected in that sense. But unfortunately, a lot of kids out there don't have that protection.
Yeah.
You understand? And as you say, rightfully, sending them to these people that you think should be protecting them as well.
Especially when you're working.
They're the one that, you know, and unfortunately, as I say, what goes through anyone's mind as an adult to even remotely find these kids attractive?
Because
Something is mentally wrong.
Yes,
Sorry.
because
I know people like different things, but you're mentally wrong. Because as I say, whether it's a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, or even a 13-year-old, you know,
That's
rightfully,
a child.
society says that is wrong. Yeah? That's what society made an age. Yeah? To say, okay, 18, 21, obviously in America, you're an adult. And when you're adult, you're fit to make your own decision. Under that, you should leave those kids to be kids. Even if they're coming and they're using, because I remember, you know, guys would say, oh, but you know, it's not our fault because you see them out there pouncing in their little shorts and their thing,
I have a
and
problem
you don't
with school
know
uniforms.
what age they are. And it's true.
I have a
Some
problem with
girls
school
you see,
uniforms.
and you wouldn't even know. They probably look older than
You
me.
see their makeup?
Yeah, I know.
Can
I just say something? Children as young as 3 months old are being raped.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
They're
true.
being raped, yeah. And also, talking about what you said about children, you know, dressing in a certain way and things like that.
Seductive.
Does it have to do with the environment
But
that they find
it is
themselves?
the
It is, because the thing about it is that we've
Or
saw
what they're exposed to, what they see?
and peer pressure too.
Or what they see mommy
social-
and daddy doing?
And not necessarily, because I've been on. Thankfully, I don't use public transport a lot, and the reason I don't use it because obviously it takes forever to get you to where you're going. But in instances when I've been on London buses and I've seen kids, their school uniform is them
It's
too
way
short,
up here.
and you find
In the cold.
exactly,
Yeah.
and they've got no pantyhose.
Yeah.
And you find that some of these kids left home with new leg
Yes.
skirts,
And they're rolling
and then they get on the bus
and
and it
they
becomes
roll it
a
and
mini
roll it and
skirt.
roll it. Yeah.
And you look at them like, what
Why?
on earth
Yeah.
do you think at 12, your legs are skinny as mine,
Yeah.
you think it's okay to be like this? But if you look at the videos that we put out,
Exactly.
if you look at the shows that are out, if
Music
you look at
videos.
music videos,
Yeah.
social media,
Promoting it.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Someone was
Yeah.
telling me about P-Box or T-Box today.
TikTok.
TikTok.
On TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, everything is
I
just
don't
gone
know.
wild.
Yeah.
Everything is so sexualized.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And then you go to shops when you're supposed
Yeah.
you find very
I
long
think
shots.
Yeah.
I think kids are trying to grow up before their time.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you say,
Adulthood is a scam. You pay bills, you become responsible.
But the thing is, as you say, but it's you as the mother as well and the father at home to advise your kids and say, look, you see those kids, they're doing it. But hey, you should not have to follow that because this is the consequence.
Yeah. And the thing is,
They don't know the consequence.
these days, children,
If they're going to get raped or
especially teenagers,
kidnapped,
are so scared
you
of
know?
being a virgin by the time they go to university.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with being a virgin by the time you go to university or college or whatever. Remain a virgin if
As
you
long
can
as you
until
can,
you get married and let your husband be the one to disvirgin you. Unfortunately, we didn't, we couldn't.
Why are you pointing to me?
unfortunately, we couldn't, you know, do
Please.
that. Sherry, did you? Were you?
I waited till I was 18. for my
Okay, well,
first
obviously I
boyfriend.
did. Oh no, I did. I waited
So-
till, you know. But what I'm saying is, we didn't have the opportunity to allow our
just
husbands
hold yourself,
down to this virgin.
because I'm
Sorry,
so
husband.
different.
However, okay, there ain't nothing wrong with being a virgin. Okay, take it as long as you can. Beg undefiled. Okay, and just have respect for yourself. Don't let no peer pressure.
Exactly.
Don't fall. Okay, don't try to fit in.
Well, that's the thing.
Okay, because there's beauty in standing out, especially when you're standing up for the right reason.
Reasons,
Okay,
yeah.
so
And
don't
even
let
if
no
you
one
look
bully
at the
you to that.
issues around sexually transmitted diseases nowadays, it's best to know what you like. I always say this: no one stops having sex even when they're 45. So even when you think when your parents are in
You're
their
80, you still don't.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. No one stops. So if you start at 18, doesn't mean you're gonna. So no one is running out of having
Exactly,
sex.
have pity for your vaginas, because at the end of the day, it's all you have, just one. Imagine if you start having sex from the age of 13 and by the age of 60 you're still using the same place.
Trust me, there's something called
Seriously.
vaginoplasty.
It doesn't matter.
They do that.
Is it everybody that can do that though? Not everybody can afford that. That is
exercise.
Well, everything is getting cheaper now. They put you on a layer where you can pay
You can pay
monthly.
yeah, exactly.
There's
In the style, like-
vaginoplasty, they structure it.
that is wrong. That is wrong advice, guys.
No. Honestly, there is vaginoplasty.
Okay, guys.
There is vaginoplasty, but that don't mean you can start having sex from
No,
the age of
I
13
didn't
and have
say.
vaginoplasty.
Hold on.
Can I say, let's go back to the subject. What if a person take a child to the toilet? What would you
What do you
do?
mean? Like me taking?
If I
let's
take
say-
your child to the toilet,
Yeah, let's say someone said, you know, your child wants to go to the toilet, and someone said, oh, I don't mind taking your child to the toilet.
Sorry, who are you?
How would you
if my
feel?
son, okay, so you guys are my friends, my
Yes.
very good friends. I've known you guys for a lot of years now. I would like to think that if I can trust my child around your children, but please, if I'm bringing my child to your house, if there's going to be any other child there or any other adult or teenager in the house where my child is there, I would like to know. Okay, because number one, you don't know what those children have been exposed to, because children do abuse children
Yes,
as well.
that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, so and cousins do
Yeah,
abuse each
of
other.
course.
So you don't know what those children have been exposed to. But you, as the two of you, if my son wants to use the toilet and you take them to, I don't have a problem with that. I'm
The
quite happy.
only reason why I'm asking that, because before the show, remember we were talking about, you know, you have family friends, which you would grow up with and think, okay, I trust them, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but that's
But
with your
then-
own child.
No,
not
no, no.
someone else's child.
But no, your own child.
Yeah.
And as you say, you know, you don't know that if that person's looking at your child, because sometimes that person may think, okay, that person is too young. I won't do anything now. Yeah.
Wait till-
But then they stay and wait for that child to get to a certain age. Now you see, you wouldn't pick up straight away that something's happened, because they say this person come into your house, this person is your family. You know, how do you know? This is the thing, because
Let me
sometimes
tell
there's
you
no
guys a story.
signs
Let me tell
there.
you guys
There's
a
no
story.
signs.
So a friend of mine years ago, her kids go to a private school, and usually what the private school would do, the kids around the area, they would arrange for the school minibus to pick up the kids and bring them to school. But unfortunately, there was something wrong with the minibus, so they decided to use a cab service. So the cab service
Without
picked
telling
up, well, I think the parents were informed.
Okay.
So the cab service picked up the kids, about 7 of them, and as they were from their houses respectively, and as they were driving to school, one of the child said, I need the toilet. One of the female child, probably about 7 years old or 8, said, I really need a toilet now. Was saying this to the cab driver. So obviously the cab driver, bless him, didn't know what to do. This is a child that needs the toilet. He was driving past his house. He decided to stop at home and take this female 7, 8-year-old child to the toilet in his house.
Oh dear.
Okay. I think this may have happened more than once. Okay, and it was nothing. I mean, nobody on the line.
No, but Celia, I'll say this
Dangerous
because
runs.
for time immemorial, for anyone that works with children, vulnerable children, even vulnerable adults, we all do DBS. And as a cab driver, he should know it's not within his job to do that.
Yeah.
Private school, even public schools, have extra uniform. There have been instances where they rang me up from Renee's school. Oh, Renee had an accident while she was changing or was trying to get to the toilet.
And we put her in, yeah.
She wet herself, as in while trying to pull off her knickers.
Yeah.
We've put her in a new uniform.
Yeah.
So cabman should have let little Sissy we herself.
yourself.
I'm sure he was worried about his cab.
Oh, well, come on.
Really?
Really?
Is it about your cab or are you going to
But you
prison?
know, some people just do not know.
No.
That was
common
something
sense.
wrong.
No, that's
Trust
common
me,
sense.
for someone that works with and around children, it's something you would have to always have at the back of your mind.
What if this
These
go wrong?
are not my
Yes.
children. It's a job. And if there was no McDonald's around, what I expected the cabman to do is, she's 7 years old. Sometimes this kid can hold their pee. Girl,
Yeah, just hold
hold
it.
your
Yeah,
pee.
hold your pee.
Oh,
We're
what
gonna
we
get
could've
to
done,
McDonald's,
yeah.
and when we get to McDonald's, all of you calm
go
down.
and go
Call
use
the
the toilet.
staff.
Yeah.
No, call the staff. They've got female staff. Could you be Mr. Cannon? I've been asked to drop these children. This girl needs to use the toilet, not take you to
Yeah.
your house.
For your
What
house,
he could
that's
have
a
done,
bit
what he
too-
could have done, I don't know if he knew that the little girl had a brother, an older brother in the
Take
cab.
your brother.
He would have said, "Come, open
So,
the
but
door
the
and say,
question
that's
is-
the
Yeah.
toilet."
So
Go
all
in."
the
Yeah,
children.
exactly.
So he left all the children in the car and took a
For
7-year-old
one child. You see
Well,
that
in front
you
of the
see?
house, yeah,
You
again.
see?
Aha. So, do you see that?
The man probably didn't know what to do. He just didn't want his car
I
to be
would
ruined.
say,
And-
we yourself.
no.
The school have got facilities for this child to be showered. The school's got
Yeah.
facilities for this child to be
Exactly.
given brand new uniforms to wear,
Exactly.
while the sold one is well
And
taken
if
care
that's
of.
not the case, the mom could come and pick her up and bring new clothes.
They even have uniforms.
Exactly.
So,
So I
It's
think-
dangerous ground.
It is. I think the thing is, it's just
dangerous
education,
Awareness.
yeah,
Awareness.
And guys, like, we would like to hear back from you. And if you haven't seen the documentary, I know Netflix didn't send us this message, but I'm going to put the plug in. You need to go see it. You need to watch it. And you kind of look
What's the
at
title again?
Abducted in Plain Sight.
Okay.
And you look at how this guy calculated. And he had sexual relationship with the father, sexual relationship with the mother, just to get to the child. So we've got
And
calculated
married the
people.
child.
Yes, we've got very calculated people out there.
Proper grooming.
Proper grooming, who are smarter. And it doesn't make you stupid, but you know when you want to steal, you have to go. You're the one that needs to do the calculation.
Exactly.
So until next week, we would like to have your take on what we've talked about. And like I said, we're always here to learn. And please watch out for your children. They're your
Please.
responsibility.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.